with a story. A story about a young boy at the age of 10, nearly 50 years ago today. A boy who boarded an Eastern Airlines flight in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to come to Atlanta, Georgia, to get on a coach bus to go to Cleveland, Georgia, to attend Camp Barney Meadows. That young boy was me. I entered that camp, and wow, the red clay on 500 acres, the mountains, the lakes. I was nervous, I was excited, I was in awe, and I was very curious. I didn't know then, but I know now, that was the beginning of what would define my Jewish identity and begin my journey as a leader in the world. One of the rituals we had at Camp Barney Meadows was every week at the end of Shabbat, we'd have what was called Shabbat concert. We would go to a building called Barney's Ark. It was a talent show for camp. Eventually, we outgrew that building of Barney's Ark. Just got old and not big enough, and the benches were splintered. And then I remember in the early 80s, coming back down that road. If you've been to Camp Barney Meadows, it's a long road in, and you pass this beautiful Lake Wendy on the right. And on the left, there was this, what used to be a field, but in the field was this massive building. Building with an indoor stage, an outdoor stage, a covered gymnasium, high technology. It was the Bernard Halpern Activity Center. Yeah. And it was the new home. It was the new home for Shabbat concert. And I thought to myself, what kind of family gives a gift like this to my camp? Well, the answer is it's the Halpern family that gives that kind of gift to my camp. Jack, you were clearly inspired by your father, and you are a philanthropist, and you are a mensch, and you are committed to our community, the collective, and in October when we launched the Israel Emergency Campaign, in our board meeting, you made a meaningful gift, only to call me 5 hours later and say, I've talked it over with my family and we're quadrupling our gift to $1 million. And that's just one example of this. Jack, a highlight of my career has been the opportunity to honor you, to ask you to be tonight's Lifetime of Achievement Award, and to be here with you tonight. So thank you. This has been the hardest year for the Jewish people, certainly in my lifetime, and I think in most people's lifetime in this room. The trauma we heard from Lior, the pain, the suffering of our friends and family in Israel, the way that anti-Semitism has shown its ugly head all over the world is like nothing I have seen or most of you have ever seen. It has been so challenging, and yes, we here in Atlanta are experiencing it as well. It has been the hardest year for the Jewish Federation, yet I would say the most important year for our existence. We have brought this community together in so many ways to grieve, in ways to feel solidarity to our friends and family in Israel, in ways to learn from each other, in ways to listen to one another, in ways to just sit in pain with so much life, innocent life, lost as a result of this war. And we hope more than anything else that we see peace in the future and that this war will end. As you've heard, and thank you to Seth, we've had probably the most incredible campaign in our history $36+ million, Yasha Koach, an incredible feat for this community. As you've also heard, we continue to commit to our core partners. Our allocations each and every year, including this year, are increased over the year before, but we continue to invest in making sure every Jewish kid who wants to go to camp can go to camp, the initiative for interfaith families, for early childhood education, to bring young families into the Jewish community, for Jewish Fertility Foundation, for all of the other innovative ideas in this community. We continue to invest in those while raising what we're giving to our core partners. Relationships are everything. As Renee said on that video, they're everything. And we've continued to invest in those as well. Our Jewish Foundation went through some leadership transitions this year, but we navigated those with no challenges at all. I'm so proud of the new leadership there and their ability to raise the importance of legacy giving in this community. And thank you to everyone in this room who has either signed the Jewish Future Pledge or Jewish Future Promise as it is now, or made a legacy gift to this community. Our team is the best team that we have had, certainly in my tenure, and I am so proud of them. As I look back on these 8 years, I'd like to think that it's 118 years. First of all, Chai, 18 Chai. Amazing. Amazing that this organization has been around for 118 years. I am a teeny part of that 18 years. 8 years. 8 years of that 118 years. But I planted some seeds during those 8 years. I planted them around. And I didn't do that alone. I did that with the help of so many people in this room. And I hope that some of those seeds will continue to be watered and fertilized. And let me tell you, first of all, this organization exists to hold this community together, to sustain what so many before us have built. We have an incredible Jewish community. We're standing in part of it right now. To envision a future that's going to be quite different, and to build for that future. And to, while doing all that, build a living bridge, a gesher to Israel. That is the mission, that is the purpose of this organization, and the campaign and the philanthropy is all in service to that, and that's why we do it. Relationships are everything, as I said, and I've worked so hard to improve the relationships between our agencies, between us and the non-Jewish community, between lay leaders and professionals, and I hope that we can continue that. It's so important. We have trust, we have collaboration, we are rowing together. Let's continue on that journey. It's so important. The Jewish world is under threat. There is no doubt about it. We are fighting for Jewish survival. Let me tell you something. We're going to win. We're going to win. Okay? This is a challenging time. But as we address anti-Semitism, as we address the threats against Israel, let's not forget that we have to build a community that lets our next generation see Jewish thriving and Jewish flourishing. Because we don't want Jewish identity to be just about addressing Jewish survival. We have so much this Jewish life offers us. Let's remember to continue to invest in all that we are investing as we make sure that we survive as a Jewish people. This is a big city, a big metropolitan area, built by many, many natives of Atlanta, and many of you are in this room. Thank you, because I benefited from that. But many have come from other places, myself included, and we've added to that. And we built a very different city. And it's not just one community, it's many different communities in many different places. We need to invest, not just in where the Jews are today, but where they will be tomorrow. And I'll say one controversial word in this speech tonight, and that's Midtown. Do not give that up. It's an opportunity to build a Jewish cultural center that will be world class and will be there from now until the future. Let's continue. We have tremendous professionals in this community, many on our team, but all of the Jewish community and beyond. Let's invest in them. Let's support them. Let's elevate them. And let's let them lead us. Let's let them. They are capable of leading us as a Jewish community to the future. It's crucial that we keep these incredible professionals we've attracted to this community. Lastly, I just want to share some gratitude. First of all, gratitude to the board of the Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta for giving me this opportunity to do this work. Your guidance, your support has been incredibly meaningful to me. Our team, you've become family to me. Become family to me. And I love you, and I will stay connected to all of you. It means so much to me. We have formed an incredible team at Federation. To my colleagues around the room, both in the Jewish and non-Jewish community, you're an inspiration to me, and your friendship will continue and your support will continue, and I hope we continue to work together. To Anna for making, Anna's my wife, for making space so we could do this work, for being my thought partner in this work, for doing so much yourself for the Jewish future, and for running 250 miles. To my daughter Sasha for accompanying me to Israel, accompanying me to Eastern Europe, naming the Jewish Federation Kosher Barbecue Team, Federation. Many of you might not realize that, but that was Sasha's idea. And for Sasha, I hope more than anything I've modeled to you what commitment to something you care about looks like. And I hope that I also found the balance to do the other things that were important to life beyond just this job. I worked really hard at that. And I hope that as you step on your next journey, that your Jewish identity will be a source of inspiration and meaning for you moving forward. Lastly, in full circle, I just want to say to this community, as I said, this young kid at 10 years old who was transformed by this community, a scholarship kid to Camp Barney Meadows, by the way, from Pittsburgh. I've lived my life very intentionally, and my career has been no exception. Everything I've done has been a way to either give back to a person in my life or a place in my life. In these last 8 years was a way for me to give back to this Jewish community that has done so much for me in making me the individual I am. So may we go from strength to strength.